guys, welcome back to Prepping in Progress. I'm Steve. Rick's out in the bush somewhere and I'm trying to track him down. Rick? Rick? He gone. He's solid gone. Well, what are we going to talk about today? There is floating around a challenge in the Arkansas prepper community to talk about 3 ways to purify water. I ain't doing it, Tank. But we are going to talk about your homestead and water today. So, stay with me. So guys, some of you have seen this before. This is the water system for the homestead. Here we have a boxed in spring, and unfortunately the pipe actually does not hook up to this box because it owed, and I need to actually go in and route out the pipe. Also, it tends to fill up. Hey, there's only about ½ an inch in places with silt. So, every once in a while I have to come up, clean it out. But we're talking about water. Water for your homestead. This is where I get mine. Water comes out of the ground a little bit behind this rock, fills up this basin. Now let me tell you something, it's cool. It's pretty near cold. I could probably put some ice in here and make some lemonade. But you see the pipe tin right here. The water flows out. Actually, the pipe itself is blocked at the moment, I see. Flows out and over, down. There's a little bitty bucket with a pipe sticking into it. When that fills up with water, and it's always full, it goes down the pipe down the mountain to the holding tank. So we're about to head down there. What we're getting to is, here's the source. We're going to show you the transport method, and then we're going to show you how we purify it and filter it once we get back to the homestead. Life is good, guys. The simple life is the goal of most preppers, right? The simple goal of self-sustainability, living off the land, having a gravity-fed water system that you can pretty much drink out of. Deer aren't going to come right up here and do their business. I can trust that I'm not going to get Giardia out of this. Now, a little bit of flotsam and jetsam, maybe. But at the house, yes, I do filter. Self-sustainability, letting the land work for us. That's what we want. We don't want to have to call up the water and power and say, hey, why is my water shut off? Out here, my water's never shut off. If the tank is empty for some reason, I come up and I check the pipe. I come up and see if there's a clog. Even during droughts, this thing has never gone dry due to the water table. And that's what we want, really. Having it be a part of us, having our resources, our preps be a part of us. We're moving back toward, in some ways, a simpler lifestyle, a place that, I mean, I keep saying it, it's not about having 1,000 rounds of ammunition, 1,000 pounds of rice, 1,000 pounds of beans, 820 buckets of mayonnaise, 100 chickens. It's not about that. It's about being able to work with what you have around you. In some ways, conforming yourself to your resource as well as your resource to you. That's what man's been doing his entire life. Once he figured out how to do mechanical work, be it um, ropes, pulleys, etc. He conformed the land to him. But if you go to Japan and China, you'll see how the houses are built into the waterfalls. They work with the land. They worked with the environment to form something truly spectacular and beautiful. Not like this postmodern civilization of concrete and steel that is a blight on the eye of the world. So that's what we're doing here. Slowly but surely, moving forward. So let's take a quick look at, I'm going to shoot some pictures up, how the bucket is set up. And we're going to follow the pipe down the mountain to the holding tanks. And I'll show you some pictures of them. And then we'll head down and I'll show you the mechanical part of changing a water filter for your homestead and how simple plumbing it into your system can be.
Yeah, I wanted to stop and talk for a minute. You'll notice, guys, that the water line runs above ground all the way to the storage tanks. Now, yeah, it freezes here in winter. It can freeze pretty badly. But because of what I'm going to show you, how the water is always flowing, even through the storage tanks, it rarely freezes in the pipe, and we rarely have to come up and fix anything. And if we do, it's frozen at a joint, expanded, and you just have to come through with a torch, warm up the plastic, reattach the pipe that's popped apart, and it keeps going. Now further down, yes, it is buried to keep from freezing, but up here, because of the water constantly moving, we've never had a problem. My 2 cents, it's a decent system. I will say that eventually I'd love to widen this out, level this out, bury it, have a nice road all the way up to the spring. But, we'll see. Things change, plans change. Life keeps going. So let's keep hiking, guys.
We made it. Movie magic. You didn't see the whole hike. This is the end of the pipe that comes out of the spring. This water we have been following or racing down the mountain for a little bit. And I'm not going to demo the whole system, but basically this right here is the influx. And I can hear it filling, which is good. It's actually backflowing a bit, so it's full. And on the far side, at the bottom of the tank, is a hole. That is the outflow. Fairly simple. You got 3 holes. Input, at the bottom over there is the output, and it goes to an exact replica tank just down the mountain, about, I'd say 20 feet, just a slightly lower altitude. And the 3rd hole is at the top. That would be the overflow. And I told you wrong. The outflow for this goes to a separate set of buildings that I am looking at getting my hands on. Things are shaping up much more interestingly than anyone could have thought or predicted 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. So it's going to be fun. That goes to that property. The overflow. So when this tank must be full for the tank down below to get filled up. Now, okay, that can be problematic if there's a lot of water being used over here, but it's a 1,000-gallon tank. You're good. The overflow from that tank goes down to the pond and keeps all the little bass and turtles happy and with fresh water. I have a plan to put a couple of alternators and little devices in the flow of the spring
and start generating water power off of here. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed it's going to be fun. A couple of the biggest problems up here, believe it or not, is rain. When I have extra water, mud and whatnot gets washed in at the top of the mountain, and it manages to make it all the way down the pipe. And while these do act as filters, and about once every 5 years I have to go down inside and shovel them both out, for the most part, they stay pretty good. This one filters out more dirt than that one, and that one goes to my house. So, that's the first filter system, just a gravity filter system. So, tank, maybe we are going to have 3 filters. We'll see. Let's carry on down the mountain, guys. So welcome back. We followed the line, we followed the road, we're back in the house. So, we've shown how you can filter mud and whatnot through gravity. But once you're at the house, you have a whole nother ballgame. Making it fit for drinking. Now, that don't look too good, does it? It's actually still doing its job. I would not drink out of here, but I would drink out of the faucet. So what we've done is we've shut off the water inputs to the house and from the spring. I shut that off now. So at this point, this part of the system is completely isolated. One of these days, this is going to break. This piece right here is almost as old as I am. We're going to come up here. We've got it loose. And we're going to make a mess now. But here we go. My lovely assistant behind the camera is moving my NWA Prepper backpack, brought to you by Sojourn Gear, that I've been carrying all day, out of the way. So, see, pull it out, there's that much. Still dirty water, it's all good. Well, no salamanders today, so we're good. I've actually had a salamander make it all the way through here and into the pipe once. But yeah, this is the mud, silt, detritus that your filter is blocking out. Now on the inside of this particular type of filter, I do have an activated, like totally off the map. I do have activated charcoal filter as well, and it keeps it clean. Now, fresh filter, Cottonelle. All you're going to do here, settle it in place, come back over here, get it tight. Turn on the filter, open up the flow, and ladies and gentlemen, we got water going again. You can hear the toilet kicking on. Air bubbles coming through. This is how I filter the water for the Homestead. because it comes in through the house, runs straight to this filter. Even my laundry water is filtered. The only thing that's not are the garden hose attachments to the property that run off a separate Y in the system. So, tank for you. I got 2 filtrations in. The gravity filtration for silt, and now the germs and still some silt and mud. This is how things work on the homestead. There is no water pump. There is no dependence upon electricity to keep you in water. The mountain works for you. You gravity feed down and you collect nature's bounty. That's how these things work here. However you choose, we also get ticks from time to time, gotta love it. However you choose to run your homestead, that's on you. Many people like to have electrical backup. I wouldn't mind having a pump on solar, but the way this system is run, I don't need it. It doesn't require anything to keep functioning. Like I was talking about up on the mountain, at most what we're going to need is in winter, if something freezes and just pops apart, take a little butane torch up there, heat it up, pop it back together, life is good. Keep it simple. When you come to your homestead, when you get your property, remember the keep it simple, stupid proverb. Acronym. The words. I have all the words. Play with the acronyms. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't get overly complicated. Don't get overly complex. The more complex you get, the higher the option for failure and system failure. This is what? 1, 2 pipes, 4 pipes at most, and water comes about half a mile down the mountain. So there it is. We've changed the water filter on the homestead. We have given tanks something to think about, and we're always moving forward. So until next time, thanks for watching Prepping in Progress. I'm Steve, and I really am glad you're here. Have a good one.